Okay, checking to see if we are live. I must be a better way of checking that. Always have to see if it's actually up there. Okay, yeah, cool. It looks like we are live. Hello. Welcome back into another stream and another video where we keep working on Basilio y el Mar. Yesterday or on Tuesday, I was working on this shot over here. I can maybe show my screen. I was working on with the other shot, and actually, sorry, I was actually working on it for quite a while because it was yesterday as well off stream. Just like fixing a lot of the roof stuff and the edges and stuff like that. But it's such a long shot, and it takes like almost like 1.5 hours to export it out. And if there's just like small mistakes, I'll have to go back in and re-render it. So I spend most of the day just rendering this shot out like multiple times. So hopefully I feel like it's in a pretty good spot. So I'll take, oh, sorry, I think you're watching the wrong shot. Working on 22, yeah, so this is the shot. Yeah, so yeah, so another just a chill stream, really. Working on things. It's getting a little bit slower, I guess. With like at the beginning, we were like quickly sort of like doing slap comps, right? Like just to get a version out on for every shot, and just so we'd have sort of a talking point and like where to take the shots and stuff like that. So I feel like we sort of come into the stage now where you spend a lot more time each shot, you know, to sort of like try to improve and really perfect the shot as much as possible. Some of the shots was also approved like quite fast, so that was also really good. So there just needs to be like a little tech check on those to make sure they are sort of like ready for final output. And we also still missing some shots that we haven't received yet. I think the director might actually be on a small vacation, and I'm not sure if this week or the coming sometime 1 week in the next month or so. I'm not really sure when that is. So yeah, there's like a lot of like communication and project management that we sort of need to sort of, you know, that we do of course off stream. But yeah, like trying to get these last shots and the missing elements for the shots that we need to continue on with the newer shots that we haven't showed on stream. Hola, Flow and Nature. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. But yeah, so that's why we're having a little bit of a sort of like a not a slowdown, right? But we're now spending like a lot more time on each individual shot to really make sure that we nail it down. So yeah. So I think I was quite happy with this yesterday. So I'll just copy sort of this setup over. I might copy the whole thing actually, because I might use the same roto and keys because it's basically sort of like the same shot, right? So we're going to 23. Let me change it over here. This one. How are you, Flo? All right, so I had like some old skies for this. Yeah. So I'm just gonna copy all that in. I'll take it out for now. I'm just gonna make this big and really clean up the script. So I'll take that out. I think this is like the shooting star. For this shot has like a little shooting star at the somewhere. So I'll just keep it like that. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Oh, wrong one. I want it here and here. I'm doing well. The time change really helps with the morning sun. Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, yeah, for sure. I always, when you live in Denmark, I remember also like the time change. Also when we lived in Canada as well, like the always feels like, yeah, those vitamin D from the sun that really helps in the morning. Okay, so I just want to see if I get this right. So I had a little bit of I have a camera movement in the other shot, which I'm putting in here. So I'm thinking just, I'll see how long this shot is. So this is like almost 400 frames. So maybe I'll take it somewhere in between. And then delete animation, saying like no animation on the camera because there's no camera movement in this shot as well. Also, it's not tracked for this shot specifically. But it should give me sort of like now a pretty good sort of like render of the same sky as the other shot basically, right? Because they are the same pretty much. I had to export the night sky EXR to HD format to update the script. It was too heavy. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Good choice. Yeah, because I think like it's absolutely right. I mean, working on 16K can really choke the computer a bit. Hello, Mirza on YouTube. Thanks for joining in again on the stream this time around. I still haven't, I think you asked last time about having the material of the movie to be able to share, and I haven't had a response from the director on that yet. So I'll keep yeah, I'll keep you updated when if you join in the other streams as well for whenever that's a thing. Hopefully it's a thing. Hopefully I think we can make it work. Right, 16K. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's no joke. I mean, even working on 4K is really heavy, right? Like. Even working on films and shows is sometimes it's even a struggle. So, all right. I think this shot is looking pretty good. Let's gamma up a little bit so we can see. And I'll take in a version here of 23 just to make sure everything's sort of aligned. Wait, I'm in the wrong shot here. There we are. So this is the other shot. So I'll just do like a backdrop here and call this as reference. And then I can compare that and this just to see how this guy aligns, right? See if they're a little bit too different. Which it looks like it is. But I can reproject this maybe to, I will probably have, yeah, before I deleted the animation on this, actually, I should have reprojected it. Or yeah, because I think at the beginning of the other shot, so I'll probably redo this a little bit. So at the beginning of shot 23 and the beginning of shot 22, they are at the same, almost at the same position, right? So I think I need to do a projection. It's tricky. Yeah, because I'm projecting basically at I think frame 500 or something like that, and the onto the other one. But I might just do then a little cheaty way of doing it. I might just like reposition the sky maybe here into this one. Or yeah, let's do it this way. There's a bunch of ways of doing it. I could also render out the background from the other one and then frame hold it at the right position. Yeah, there's a bunch of ways of doing this, but I think I'll just sort of like line them up. So this really cool thing here in Nuke I use a lot when I have to line things up, where you put the viewer to 1 on one thing, and then you can press like, I like to use 1 and 4 a lot. So I put the reference on 1, and then I put 5 on my final output, and then I'll do W, right? And then you can get like, oh, we might actually view it through the reformat, and also reformat this to 4K. So now they have the same size. And now I can sort of like see the two shots, but sometimes I get confused which shot is what. So I'll do a little text and say that this shot is 23. Oops. Oops. There we go. And I'll put that, yeah, let's put it here. And then I'll copy the same text, put it here. And then this one we call 22. And I'll put it on the other side here. And so now when we look through the two texts, now I know which shot is which and which one to align to To where? Okay, so I think I need to pull it up quite a lot, and I think it's only sort of like a. I will see if we have to move it more, but it feels to me that it is only sort of a horizontal. It's vertical. It's like a vertical lift on the background. So I'll just take it here and try to then push it up on the Y. Let's try like 100 pixels. Let's see how that looks. If it looks closer. And I think these two stars are the same. So it's not only a horizontal, but so let's put that up to like 150 and then move it to align those two stars as close as possible. So I'll take it like sort of right here, and then I'll move it, I don't know, let's try 50. Maybe that's too much. No. Let's go more. I don't think it needs to be like 100% spot on, but you know, let's try to get them as close as possible and see how that feels. Right, so there's a little bit of a scaling issue as well, and again, I think it's because I project, in the other shot, I project, the camera movement happens between 1 and 500, and I project right in the middle, so I think that's how I did it. It's just because so the image covers sort of the whole frame, or other, you know, it really depends like how you want to project, depending on the camera movement. And I think here, I don't know which frame that I killed the camera on, but now I'm stuck into that position of the camera, and that's why it's giving me a little bit of a different scale, right? So so to fix this the right way, I guess I would sort of like push the camera forward a little bit, but we can also just do like a 2D scale and then see if we can nail the scale as well. But yeah, it's not ideal to do it this way. I just kind of like shot myself in the foot because I didn't prepare myself for the setup. But you know, all problems have a bunch of solutions, right? You like 23 or 22? Yeah, I mean, they're basically the same, right? But I think, like looking at the whole shot, I think I like 22 a little better because I think that's the one with the camera movement. Yeah. Let's see if I can get the scale right. So I might not, I mean, I see a little bit of stretching here. Wait, Is that stretching happening on this shot? No. Okay, yeah, it's happening. Oh, 23. Sorry, I already got confused between 23 and 22. So I couldn't even answer your question right. Yeah, I have a little bit of like stretching here on the stars, right? So I might need to actually do a proper fix for this, and not do this 2D shenanigans that I'm doing here. So I'm gonna go into 22 and re-steal the camera so I get the animation back. And I frame hold it at 500 frames. So yeah, so now that yeah, technically I would like to hold it at frame 1 here. So now the camera is not animating, and now I can hold sort of the same position as the other one. I think it was 502. And so let's see if that looks better. So now they look exactly the same, right? The sky position. So that was, sometimes it's better just to do it the proper way. So, right. So let's see that we don't have any camera movement on this. And if the keyers look good, I haven't touched the rotor or the keys or anything, so you know, I might need to readjust a lot of it. So right now I just want to make sure we don't have any surprising camera movement, but it looks like it's completely static. So yeah, when working actually on like film and especially compositing, it's like I think actually VFX in general, I think this mindset or philosophy applies to it, which is like a lot of the time you know the final result, right? Like you know that you need to get to result 100 if you're thinking about it mathematically, right? So you know, like, okay, the result is 100. And then you tell the artist to reach 100 the most efficient way possible, right? But you can't use the number 100 because you need to work your way up to 100. So how do you reach 100, you know? So and I think I'm pretty sure like every person will give you different answers, you know? Maybe they will plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 until they reach 100, or maybe they just plus 50, or 50 times 2, or you know, 20 times times 5, and so on and so on. So you know, there's like 100 ways to reach a result, right? And then it's kind of like the perfect I think like example to compare it to, like creative work, right? Like sometimes it's like, oh yeah, we need to do this for the shot, and then the approach can be anything, right? And there's like no right and wrong answers. And I think that's what makes it fun and creative to begin with, is because like you can like, you know, maybe the result is like 101, and like, okay, how do you reach that number, or how do you reach that result the best way possible, or the, you know, the path of least resistance and all that stuff. But I think like yeah, it's interesting because like every script, it would always look different, and I would probably do it different as well. Like if I would work on the same shot again, like if I'd had to start from scratch, I would probably do it a little bit different. So that's kind of like the, I think where a lot of the creativity comes from as well. Finding creative solutions to all these problems. So I'm not really seeing the fence here, but I know it's there, but I'm just gonna delete this roto shape. I don't need for this shot, I think. Oh, I'm probably have to create a new one. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, it's like at the edge. I might cut it out actually. You know, let's do it. So I'm gonna cut this. And put it to no clip. It's really hard to see the structure, but I think it goes here. I don't know if you can tell on the stream, but I think it goes like something like that. And yeah, so now we see a little bit, again, like we get this star in there, right? Which is not much, but you know, small details help out. So yeah, then see, then I have some roto shapes. I think I'll go back to frame 1, and then I think I would like to sort of delete the animation on all the roto shapes. So like 100, we'll kill it. 2. There we go. Maybe it's in a bad position. No, this looks quite good. Yeah. So yeah, I'll do that with all the rotor shapes. And yeah, it's probably pretty good. Right. So I'm just like over gammaing here a little bit just to make sure that I see everything. Again, I'm just gonna compare it to the other shot, and they are pretty much a match, right? So yeah, it's looking pretty good. Okay, so I had this shooting star stuff. I don't even remember. Yeah, okay, so I took a star from the star map and I did a shape, cut it out, moved it, split it in 2. When is it moving? Okay, it's moving here towards the end. So here we can see it. Yeah, so this is the core and this is the trail, and then I plus them back together and I get this. I mask the tail a little bit So we had a little bit more of a fall off, some chromatic aberration, and put it on top. So let's see the movement of that goes around here to here. Yeah, let's watch it. I'm just checking on the notes for the shots. I think, if I remember correctly, I think there was a note on the shooting star. What shot is this? 23? Yeah, so the shooting star needs to be a little bit more powerful and a little slower. And I think actually, I remember doing some of that. Maybe I did that off stream as well. I'll just check with the older version. Yeah, I think I already done it a little bit. So it's like slower, and it flies more like horizontally across the whole shot. Let's see this version here. Well, this looks... Yeah, so... I don't know. Yeah, I might not have done that then. Let's see again on another frame. Oh, they are in the exact same position. So I might need to then, yeah, so I have to make it slower. Let's see, what do we got here? Yeah, I have some rotation and stuff. Yeah, I might go in here and take the, let's see, scale X is the one that I'm interested in, and then I'll think, let's see, let's push it like 3 frames this way and 3 frames the other way. Now it should be 6 frames slower, which is just quite a lot. So let's see if it feels weird. Okay, it's more subtle for sure. I think yeah, I get like I don't know if you see it, but it comes in like a glowing ball here, and then it kind of like sneaks into the frame before it shoots off. It's only like for a few frames, I guess. Let's see. It's 1, 2. Yeah, it sneaks in like 2 frames, and then so let's see. I might need to push it further here then. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. It's a little slow, but maybe that's what you want. I'll try the glint node on this as well. Like, I'm not sure it's a good idea, but I just want to try to see if it gives it a little bit of a flame, if you will, like a little bit of a blink to it. Let me see if I can. Yeah, so I'll take it from there. So I'll take out that, and then I'll test it here. Yeah, I would kind of like need a well, actually, maybe, yeah, I would need like a noise mask on it, right? But I think also it's gonna get motion blurred. So let's see, let's put it in here and then see how it looks. Yeah, so it only sort of like glows it up a lot more. So I think it would be interesting, yeah, to give it a noise, an animated noise. This can be like quite aggressive. Because we see it for so few frames. Let's do something like that and see how that affects the effect. So we get like, I don't know if you can see, but now it's like blinking. And so now I'm wondering if whenever it shoots off, we get a little bit of more. Nah, it doesn't do much, I think. Okay, so what if we then take it on towards the end instead? And nah, it doesn't give us much. Let me see. What if I amp up the alpha? Something like that. No, it's not doing much. So I might just keep it here, even though it's probably like way too subtle and we don't really get any beneficial effect from it. Normally I would probably just delete it, but you never know. We get it's good to get some nuance in the effect a bit, I guess, and then yeah, sometimes it can create a little bit more depth without without noticing it a bit, you know, like it can be quite subtle. I think I'll try to see if I can create the effect only. Okay, it's weird that it doesn't give me the effect only. Because then I wanted to like gain it separately and plus it, but I don't know why. Oh, it's because of the noise maybe? That's interesting. Okay, so, oh yeah, because it's taking some alphas from there. So yeah, basically I just wanted to be able to control the star a little bit and then see if it even does anything. I mean, it makes it a little bit brighter. I guess that's good enough. It's also in the notes to make it brighter and slower, right? So now let's see. To old version, new version. They kind of like still in the same position, so I'm not sure I actually moved it enough. I mean, it has been moved, but I think I probably just moved it like way too few pixels. Yeah, just to do this a little bit easier for myself, I think I'll do O-flow. It's quite a heavy node, and it's totally probably overkill for this. Do I want to do that? No, you know, I think that's way too overkill. I think it's probably easier to just adjust the speed here on these two nodes. Yeah, so I'll move it. Yeah, so I need to move. I don't want to necessarily. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's take this one out of the frame, right? And this one. Yeah, I think it's fine. It's ending there. But then technically I want it to be maybe 14. Right, so I just create like another key here, and then I'll go into the 18, delete the key here, and delete the middle one as well. Yeah, I'll do another middle one, I think, because now it flies like in a straight arc, but I'm just thinking about moving the keyframes and the position a little bit. So let's put it here, delete all this. Right. And now I can find the in-between. So like, I don't know, somewhere here, I guess. Here. And push this up a little bit. Yeah, so it flies a little bit in an arc. And then I'll copy this and replace that one that is giving us the trail. I want it in the same position, right? But now I need to use the right motion blur. So that's why I don't want to delete it. So I'll take in the new one. I'll take the old one and it's put to 1.1. So I'll do the same here. And then disable and it looks like we get the right effect. So now I can take it out of the pipe, and there we go. We should have the exact same as, but with a new trajectory. So let's see now. So the old version, it starts at 319. I'll go into the new shot, and we see it here already, but it's because we see it much sooner on the new so that's probably looking quite right. I'll loop some frames and see if it works. Sorry for mumbling a lot to myself. I guess just a lot of talking out loud. I really need to figure out how to get rid of those chatbots on the chats. They're quite annoying. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, it feels a little slow to me. I actually kind of like the speed from the other one, because that one to me feels slow. But also because I know it's coming, right? So I'm like really having a laser eye on it. I feel like this one is like flying a little bit unnaturally, I guess. Yeah, I just feel it's a little slow. So let's adjust this one again. Maybe something in between. So I think I extended it by 5 frames on each end, and I think I'll meet somewhere in between. So let's do 35 and delete this. And we do 16, delete this. Oh, I fucked up. This is the one I wanted to delete. Right. Right. So now I'll copy this over and replace this one. And we put it to shutter 1. Maybe also I could make the trail a little bit longer. So maybe like shutter 1.5. Let's see how that looks like. feels like it got smaller for some reason. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like it got smaller. Oh, it's because of the mask? Maybe. No, but I mean... Yeah, maybe. So, let's make this even longer than 2. Then... do like 6 here. Yeah, now it's much longer. Looks quite good. Let's see how it looks in motion. And also maybe it is quite dark, so this is like the... Yeah, so maybe I'll need to gain up as well. So I'll just do like a multiplier here at the end, and I'll multiply it maybe by 2. And so it becomes like way more visible. Now it all really depends on like how they're gonna color correct it, right? I'm gammaing up quite a lot in order to be able to see it. So yeah, let's see how that looks. Maybe I'm rendering a little bit too many frames. There we go. So yeah, it shows up at 16 or something, right? I'm not really convinced by it, and I think okay, I also need to sort of mask the roof, but I guess it's something. I feel like it's the way it travels. It travels quite like 2-dimensionally, I think, and I wanted to sort of maybe... Okay, so let me just draw a little reference. So I guess like right now it's just traveling very directly like that, and I think it would be kind of cool to see it travel inwards in the shot, but it's almost have like no space for that to happen, right? Which I think it's problematic. I kind of like wanted to go in the shot, but then yeah, we'll see very little of it. Because we have no space. I also feel it's a little slow. And maybe also too intense. Try to disable this transform. I think I have it in there to sort of like course correct it a little bit. And then I'll take down the multiplier to maybe 1.5 and make the trail just a tiny bit smaller. So like, let's go like with 175. Just basically reducing a lot of the stuff that we just amplified a little bit. So for the, maybe it's a good, I mean, even though nobody, there's not many people right now watching on the streams, but if you're watching the video afterwards, maybe it'd be useful to know. But there are like small projects cooking up, or like, I should just say gigs. I kind of like this trajectory a little bit better. Maybe we can just adjust this one a little. So I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll like it more without. And then I'll key it with the house alpha that we got here. So sorry, as I was saying before, like normally we get like jobs here and there for like with other clients to do like commercials and stuff like that. So like after sometime after this project and the other ones that I have as well in the meantime, but like already we've been contacted maybe to do a commercial. We'll see how that pans out. It's still like super early days, but it's something is cooking up, and that would be like a more like a practical shoot and like editing and stuff. So I don't think there will be many effects for that, but and also I don't think I will be able to maybe even talk about it or show anything, because it would sort of be more about a regular job. But I kind of find it more fun with these type of things, with these type of work, where I don't know, it's more shareable and it's interactive as well, I guess, in a way. I mean, obviously, like working on a commercial is you interact with people all the time, but it becomes very formal, I guess, like very, it's like, let's get down to business, and then, you talk very directly to everything. But here it's like, feels more like a, creative, collaborative, and in a different way. I don't know how to, sort of divide the differences, but I guess it becomes more, I don't want to use the word professional because it's not. It's just like more, I don't know, streamlined maybe, or like yeah, like I don't know. It's funny with indie stuff because like you're just trying to figure out a way to make it work in a way, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Can't find the right words for it, and I can't figure out why I can't stencil. Oh, it's because my alpha's white here. There we go. So I want to take it from there. It's hard to to talk and work at the same time. Yeah. So now I should kind of like go behind the house. Hello, Mirza. Can you tell me about chroma key? Yeah, absolutely. So, in Nuke, the way that you sort of work with it is that you kind of have your colors here, right? So in Nuke, you have a lot of different keyers, and depending on like what type of green screen you're working on, or blue screen, it really depends like how it's shot. And usually when we work with it, there's also like, you don't really know which one might work the best of the keyers. But usually you have the regular keyer. This one is really good for like luminance values, to pick up on luminance values. So you can see when I press A and go into the Apple channel, you can see like, you can see it picks up really good on the luminance values of the shot, right? And that way you can create a key. You can also go in here in the options and you have like red keyer, you have like green keyer and blue keyer, and usually these are the ones that you want to use depending on blue screen and green screen. Then you have like other ones like key light, I really like as well. It's also really strong. Usually I only feed like the one called source into the source, and you color pick whatever you want to get keyed, whatever you want to key, right? So like that, and then you kind of like want to try to select and the right color, and it will sort of like pick whatever range of color that is. Obviously I don't have a good green screen or here, but that's how it would work. Then there's a really powerful one as well that it saved me a lot of times, called Primat. It's also a really good one, which functions the same way. So as where it's already ready to get, to pick a color, and you kind of like pick an area. It's tricky to show you without having any specific color, but you can see like it's doing a little bit of a, it's trying to pick up the red inside the room and key it out, and then everything else, so it picks up on everything that is red, right? And then you go through like these arrows here, and you can clean up like background noise, and so you keep up painting that red out basically. And this is like really powerful, but sometimes if you overdo it, you can also get a very like too strong of a key, I guess, right? But you can like clean up the foreground, clean up the background, so you go back and forward until you're like kind of happy with the keyer. There's more. There's IBK, but that's a little bit more. Man, I don't know. It's a little bit more. This one is really hard to show without a keyer, because basically you need the 3 inputs. You need a proper background, foreground, color input, and you can create like a pretty good keyer with that. So there's many ways of doing it. They're all really good keyers, but that's how like you would usually key stuff. And then sort of the workflow for it is sort of like, usually you treat the colors, so you would like to sort of like shuffle you sort of like shuffle the RGB on one side. So RGB. And here you will do whatever color treatment you need to be doing. Like sometimes when you have like a blue screen behind an actor or something like that, you would have we call it spill, right, from the blue. So you will see like blue in their skin or the hair and stuff like that. So you need to do a little bit of like color treatment on the RBG part of this pipe, right? You do that stuff, and then on the other pipe you do the alpha treatment. So you can do like a bunch of keyers to like do a core mat, what we call a core mat, sort of like, and then you do like an edge mat, and use kind of like, where you do final details and you key mix in all those alphas until you get like a pretty good alpha, and then at the end you mix them back together with a copy node. So you mix in you color tree. Oh, I was on the wrong. So you mix in your color tree with the RGB, and then you have like you should have like a good alpha, right? But that's kind of like how sort of the work process is for keying out stuff. It's very involved, right? But it's also extremely powerful. But it takes time to do well, and every shot is different. Like some blue screens and green screens are very easy to work with when they're done right, and depending on the camera movement and all these type of things as well, right? But I would say like I think maybe 10% of the times that I worked on green screen stuff that are actually like good green screens. And 90% of the time it's always a little bit of a problem. And it's just because like, sets can be huge and it's not illuminated evenly on the shot, right? And so, or there's like a lot of movement, there's a lot of hair. So there's always like a tons of work to do with green screen stuff. But when you do it right, you never notice it. It's definitely one of those things that can fall apart a bit. I actually want to almost show you, but I can't. No, sorry, I can't show you because I haven't updated my show reels. I don't have the shots, but I can't bring it up from anywhere, can I? No, it would take me a while to get to, I think. But I basically wanted to show you is like this. I worked on this sequence in Fast and the Furious 10 where they're fighting on this bridge, and I feel like the green screen, or because we did a lot of blue screen for that shot, and it just doesn't look right to me. It doesn't feel right. But I think it's like the colors and everything the lighting just feels weird. And to me, it's very clear that it's a blue screen sequence. And it's a huge movie, right? But then I have done a blue screen on the 100 where you can't tell there's ever been like an extended background to that shot, and it just goes to show like sometimes it like more money or bigger projects doesn't necessarily go better. It really all depends on the how much stuff is in the shot as well, I guess. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. I'm sorry I can't show you with more detail, but I hope it gives you sort of a good picture of how to work with it. And sorry for the long answer also. But I think it's a good topic to sort of like talk about it, right? Like I think actually a lot of compositing, it's actually mostly sort of like alpha management and like mask management, right? Like you always like want to make sure thing has the right transparency, you have a good mask on everything and stuff like that, right? So a lot of compositing is a lot of masking and becoming good at it. And so you use all these tools to try to always, get a good mask as fast as possible, basically, right? And and then when you work with 3D, you have so many more layers than just mask, than just alphas, right? So you got like a depth pass, you get like normal passes, you get like well positioned passes and stuff like this, which is you generate with a 3D, right? And then so as soon as you work with 3D, you work with a lot more complexity in terms of like layers and mask, right? But when it comes down to like blue screen, green screen, and keyers, you're just working on with alphas. Okay, I think this feels a little better. I'll probably try to do a little bit of a scale on the here. I'll do a new one. I just wanted to make it feel like it's disappearing a little bit. Like off to the background, so it doesn't feel like it's too like sideways. So I think I'll do, let's see. So when it comes up here, it will be at 1, and when it's gone, it'll be maybe at 9. Let's see how that looks. Yeah. Maybe less. I can go smaller. Okay, I think that's a little better. I'm kind of not like super happy with the speed. I feel like shooting stars are super fast, but I'm also like anticipating it, right? So it's kind of like hard for me to sometimes judge it. You kind of like have to see the whole shot from the beginning and not know when it will come, because it might feel better that way. need to find some more music. Okay, I think I probably, in a way, made it a lot faster than it was. It's flying slower, but it's faster now because it goes behind the house. And before we sort of saw it throughout the whole shot, so it's a tricky one, I think, to get right when there's so limited space, right? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's so tricky. Yeah, I'll see if I can give it a little bit more like screen real estate, because like, yeah, I think I could probably start it a little bit further out and curve it a little bit more. I guess it just feels, yeah, I know what breaks a little bit for me, I guess, is the, I feel like the dot is flying the right direction, that feels right, but then I have this static line that is not really following the right trajectory, and it feels a little static. So I'm wondering if I should sort of like rebuild this a little bit and do it on a card in space. So so it travels on that card a little bit better. You know, let's try that. I think that would be an interesting way of doing it. So yeah, I'll disable the transforms for now. I kind of want the look, but now I want to do the effect as I guess as that doesn't need to be flat as possible, but no, let's try to keep it like that, I guess. And then let's see, because it's a static shot, I can just create like a scene and a camera, skyline render, a card, and put that into the card. I'll disable this and merge it down here with the scene, the camera. There we go. And yeah, let's worry about the mask after. So okay, I'm just gonna put a checkerboard first, just so you can see how this card is in space. Basically, I just want to push it back, make it bigger. and then rotate it a little bit on Y. So I'm trying to sort of align the card in the trajectory that I want to see the card fly in. Maybe make the card a little bit bigger. Yeah, something like that. Right. So now if I put in the thing and watch it fly, it might fly off cam. It's there in the 3D scene, you see it? The camera, I just don't see it. So I could also change the camera to like, I don't know, let's say 24. Now the camera sees a little bit more. Maybe less, 12. There we go. Okay, so let's see now. So now it feels like way more 3D, right? The way that it's traveling, which I think was the thing that was not convincing me about this one, right? Like I feel the scale is there in 2D and everything, but the sort of the trail of it was like flying static, if that makes sense. And it was not really convincing me of the 3D space. And so I think like this works a little better. And now we can just sort of like we can sort of like place this card now and sort of like match it sort of like to the you know, whatever direction we wanted to have it to fly in with in the shot. You know, sometimes doing this stuff with the card and the scene and looking at it this way, it always reminds me a little bit like when, I don't know, I think like one of the first films or things I was working with was like a Lego set where you had like a webcam and then you took like, you basically did like stop motion. It was like a Lego set I had as a kid. And then like I would basically like draw the background of the scenes for the Lego in hand, and I would like move the background as they were sort of like doing a walk animation and all these type of things. So in a way it's the same thing, right? Like I feel like I'm putting in a card and I'm just making the sort of a white dot fly through it, and you sort of like working with all these small things to create a thing, you know. Yeah, it's really fun. I don't know why, but like, I don't know, when doing stuff like this makes me feel like I'm you know, still a kid playing around with cards and and drawings, which is quite nice. Yeah, so yeah, let's see. So I might need to readjust. Yeah, Lego and compositing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty much. I think actually doing like stop motion it's a little bit of a like entry level compositing in a way, right? You kind of like have to like sometimes delete stuff you had in every frame and stuff like that. So it's yeah, it's a good way to get into it, I think. Maybe at a young age without, I mean, yeah, really realizing that I was that I was doing compositing. Right, so now I can change this a little bit. So it's a little extreme, so let's do maybe 30. And yeah, I can also rotate it that way. Maybe I want to rotate it the other way. Okay, let's just see this fly. Right, so now I think it looks It looks much better now. But now there's a little bit of a weird effect, right? Like, I don't know if you can see it, but like right now it's sort of like traveling. It curves in and then it sort of curves out. Does that make sense? And I think it's because of the camera angle is probably like too fish eye, so it gives a little bit of a strange feeling. So let's swap the focal length to 24, and then I'll try to just reposition the shooting star, like, I don't know, say like minus 200, just lower it a little bit so we actually see it. Yeah, so now it's appearing. So like lower it maybe down to something like this. How does that look like? Feel like it's still a little curvy. But let's see. It also might be, no, too big, but maybe not. All right, so now I just want to use that stencil down here instead. Yeah, let's see how that looks like. Just gonna save. And while it's rendering, I'm just gonna go stretch my legs really quick. Be right back. All right, I'm back. Okay, now it feels faster, which I kind of like it more like that. But now I feel like it's a little big, and I also like the trajectory and everything. But it feels a little big, so I'll adjust it. I'll adjust it a bit. Yeah, it feels quite huge, actually. Yeah, Mirza, I hope that the greens, the chroma key or the keyer stuff, I hope it made sense. I know it was a little bit of a long explanation on it, but yeah, so I think I'll make it just a tiny little smaller. So yeah, I think I'll do that here. Or I might actually, I think this is gonna break, so I need to do it in these two. Yeah, so I'll try to push it to like 0.9. And the same for this one. Also, I think what makes it feel a little huge, it could be the shutter speed here that we sort of increased quite a lot. So let's take that to 25. Oops, like 125. Let's see. Let's just see if we can isolate this section here. Okay, I have to remember that I'm actually watching the shot at like quite overexposed, right? Or like gammaed up. So I'll I might need to sort of boost it up a little bit, just so like the shooting star itself, because it feels like a little dulled up when we gamma up, but yeah, we'll see, and how it feels like when I gamma down. Okay. Yeah, I think that feels much better, I think. There's a little bit here on the mask. I think I'll probably just roto. Yeah, it's hard to. So this is like more the right colors the shot will probably be in. And so watching it like that, it's quite, pops out. So I think it's Yeah, it's a tricky one, I think, to get right in terms of like intensities and stuff. Um, yeah. Yeah, I think that feels good. I kind of like it when, I guess, when it's the shot is a little bit darker and stuff. I think you sort of like see it pass by quite fast, and I think it looks good like that. I think as soon as you sort of like overexpose the shot and stuff, so it could break maybe once they start like coloring it, but I don't think they're gonna gamma up a lot, right? I think like the shot is dark. They are at night, and I think yeah, watching it pass by like that and that, I think it's good. Yeah, so I'll roto this one here. Let's add it in. So let's say screen, and I'll delete these two. Yeah, that should be good enough. I'm just gonna soft the selection a little bit. Let's make a few adjustments. You know, something like that. So it should be a little bit more solid. Maybe we blur that like by 2 pixels. And yeah, let's see. Yeah. So before it was kind of like, yeah, maybe this section here could be like a little more transparency, I guess. There. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it looks good. All right, so we got about more like 15 more minutes of the stream. Try to see if there's anything else I could start on now. I think most of it is like pending stuff at the moment. Is it not? Well, we don't know actually, because there was a lot of stuff that we didn't go through. Let me just open the review. Right. So let me share the right screen here. But basically, yeah, we were doing like a review session. On these, and so these two have now been updated, so I need to render these two out. This one, I don't think I received any feedback, did it? Short 14. No, we didn't. Right. So, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I need to work on these two. Are the ones that I need to do for, I think for Monday. So shot 20 and 21. I didn't manage to send them for review last time, so I really need to get cracking with these two. But I'm wondering, I almost don't have time to start it on stream at least. We still got a little bit of time, so I'll just save these two. Give me a moment and I'll open up the other shot as well. Yeah, in case you actually, it's you know, there's so many ways of like handling productions as well, like in terms of like pipeline stuff, right? So, and like project management, usually there's like some pretty good, some of them are free, some of them are not, but like if track, it's a good like project management place to sort of like do it. Usually for like bigger studios, it's like Shotgun, right? But like I feel just because of the size of this project, we didn't sort of like need to use any of that, especially because like we're just doing compositing and we are super tiny team. We basically don't have to like, oh, let me open the shot, worry too much about like project management. But as soon as you start being, I would say, I think the pain threshold is like maybe 6 or like 7, 8, I guess around there, where projects get big enough where you need other like better tools in order to like project management, especially like if you have like, you know, 3D artists and you know, rigging, and you need to keep track of like where is the state of the rig, where is the state of the character art, where is the state of the animation, where is the state of this and that, and yeah, it becomes quite a handful to project manage, like in terms of like VFX or animation. As soon as you are, yeah, I think that it's probably the good threshold, like between 6 and 8 maybe. I think 6 could be quite manageable. 8 becomes hard, I think. Let me open this shot. Which one is it? Was it 21? Wait, I had it here. This was it? 20 and 21. 20 and 21. Let's just open 20. which is also kind of like the nice thing about sometimes going indie or like working indie stuff, right? Like, I mean, Nuke is a very expensive software, right? But I'm also working with Nuke Indie, and Nuke Indie it's a little cheaper, you know, like it's way more accessible. I think, yeah, I can't remember when they started doing Nuke Indie, but it's not as expensive. It is expensive, but you know, at least it's, yeah, and it's for a year, right? So, but I think it's like $450 or something like that for a year license, which is super doable, you know, like it's not the end of the world. But as soon as you go like studio size and stuff like that, like, yeah, cost goes like infinitely higher just by having a small team and having the right licenses and way more software, so that type of thing, right? So yeah, that's why like it's also an interesting I guess topic to talk about, like the sort of like where's the where's the threshold for keeping VFX sort of like cheap, right? Because it can become super expensive very fast, right? Like even though the effects look simple, oh, there's a lot of, oh yeah, okay, I was messing around with the clouds a little last time. I need to really fix this stuff. Yeah, what was I saying? So the cost effectiveness in VFX, it's tricky. So like as soon as you need, like, you know, because you can hire a generalist, right? And a generalist will be able to create a, let's say, like a 3D model, a 3D character with rigging, maybe some simple animation, and you know, be able to comp it, render it, and all that stuff. But then the problem is that you know, I once did like a little self-study project at school, and it took me 3 months to do working 16 hours a day to get a character done from start to finish, and just use it in 2 shots that were super simple. Right? It's just to give you a little bit of perspective on how long a single like creature or character can take. So because like yeah, you need to select concept it, you need to model it, right, rig it and all that stuff, and then yeah, I remember just being like I completely died after that self-study project, right? Because it was like it was so intense to do all that. So that's the problem. So being cost effective, like sure, you can like maybe hire a generalist to do something, but he also needs to sort of like put a lot of effort and work into all aspects of it, and all those aspects takes a lot of time. And so if you hire more people, if you hire a modeler that could maybe do the rigging, and then an animator, and then a lighter and compositor, you're still dealing with 3 people, and the assets needs to be done first anyway, right? So like there's a whole bunch of like management and cost effectiveness stuff that is super hard to do with VFX. But then if you hire, let's say, because you can do so much with compositing and only compositing, you know, you sort of like, and if you're really smart about it, you can do like really cool creative solutions or tricks with compositing, right? So like scars, or you know, remove stuff, or create like a futuristic city in the background, or yeah, play around with stuff with like particle stuff, or you know, you can just do so much, I guess, with compositing, right? Like you can, so having a few compositors can give you a way more effect depending on what needs to be done, of course, right? But that's where I guess sort of like the cost efficiency of VFX becomes a little bit of it can become a steep slope quite quickly, right? So, and it is as soon as you introduce, I guess, 3D assets in general. Like you can do cheap 3D stuff. Like if let's say like we put in a, oh, I'm not sharing the right screen, but let's say we put in a futuristic city for this shot. 20. So let's say if we wanted to put in like a sci-fi futuristic shot, like city here in the background, you could basically like have cubes in Nuke, right? Just stretch them out to look like skyscrapers, build a cube city, and then paint and project to every cube, you know, even take just pictures of buildings or whatever and make them look nice. And then this shot, for example, is kind of cool, right? Because it's so misty and hazy, right? So it's a good place to like hide a city, a futuristic city, and fog, right? And it could look super cool. But the cost of making that shot was like nothing, or like one person, right? So yeah, so planning out VFX can really be a huge like time saver and cost saver as well, right? Like sometimes, yeah, working on big movies, they don't care. Then they just know like they have a huge budget for it, and they's like, yeah, we can do anything in VFX, right? So you just hire a bunch of departments, but then working with that specific shot or working with that specific thing is just, it creates like an infinite or a very expensive VFX budget to make those effects, right? So yeah, it's things to keep in mind at least, and I think it's interesting to sort of learn about because yeah, it's I think you can save a lot of time and money if you know how to sort of like plan around a few things. Yeah. But then again, also like some shootings are not planned, right? Like I think you know, whenever you go up to the mountains and you're shooting, you know, something like this, you might not have planned for a misty shot, right? So sometimes it's also hard to plan for, because if you go out right now and you want to shoot something misty, I'm pretty sure it's not misty where I am right now, right? So you have to kind of work for the perfect conditions as well. But you kind of like work with what you have, right? That's what I'm trying to get to. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. It was a little bit of a I always get on these long explanations. I should really get better at just being short and concise for these explanations. But VFX is such a big beast to deal with, and there's so many aspects of it. So it's hard to sort of like give a good picture of it, I guess. Yeah. So I think I'll keep going just for a little bit. I was about to end the stream, but I think I'll see if I can get started on this a little bit. And I think, yeah, I was not happy with the lightning that I put in here and the cloud interaction. Like I think I was feeling like the light flashes here was a little flat. I wanted to create sort of like more depth within the mist here. And so we have like some natural elements in the plate that we can use, but it's also a little hard to get right, I think, for this one. Because we're playing with like, you know, this, if the spectrum is white and black, we're playing with a lot of like grays here, to not like, because it's quite overexposed, this mist, right? So we are like, have to play around with a lot of grays and subtle grays to make it work. So it's, this one will take, I think, a while to get right. Yeah, so I have a pretty good mask there, kind of like this. I like that alpha quite a lot. So the question is, let's see. Yeah, okay, so all that is kind of useless. Let's see. Right. So actually, I'm thinking I'm gonna disable this, and just because I liked this alpha, that's kind of like the area that I want to gain up, right? So if I gain that by just say 2, we already get like that interesting cloud information there, right? So now I just kind of like want to mask it by the actual lighting, which we don't see too much of. Oh, I'm like way underexposed. Right. Right. So I want to use that alpha here to then mask this. But I kind of like, that's why I think I did all this eroding stuff. I'm just going to delete all this and try to see if I can sort of increase with an erode fast, maybe. Okay, let's do something like that, and then blur, and then see. Oh, we need a lot more, so let's do that. And blur. Yeah, something like that, I guess. Let's see if it picks up on it. Welcome into the stream, everyone. I'm sorry I kind of missed the a lot of people coming in and out. Yeah, it's looking at lightning. We've done a couple of lightning stuff for a few other shots, and I copied this over just to see if I could sort of salvage most of it, and trying to make it a little bit more subtle, like hide it between the clouds a little bit, how it looks like here. But I need to sort of animate, I think, probably the grade mix as well. You can copy it from the plus merge here. So I'm just gonna drag it down to the mix and see if we get a little bit more of that flash happening as well. Right, so let's take a look. When underexposed, it looks good because we have contrast to look at, and that's what I'm talking about, like getting the... I also kind of like, so if we take a look at, if we underexpose again, so also kind of like, I know I have the information there. I would have to balance it afterwards, but what I kind of like is, I would also like some areas to be to have a little bit more gradient of light in the clouds. Right now it's illuminating. I would call this sort of like the master layer, if you will, of the clouds being illuminated. Yeah, so I'll do the same here, and then I'll take this one up here. So this one is not like dilated as much, and I can blur this one out. Maybe not. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, and then this one doesn't have to be as intense, but maybe, yeah, maybe 2 is good, but I kind of want to have it, yeah, maybe I'll create its own real fast, because I kind of like how the master one looks like, and I probably can't reuse that, so I'll create another one here. And yeah, I kind of want this to be a little softer, so I'll take the blur as well, and yeah, then blur this, and let's see how that looks like. Right, and now I can like take it down. It kind of works like a glow, I guess, a little bit here. I'll take the dilate again right after the here, so just to see if I can sort of spread out this a little bit more. Also, actually, it's very rare that I get to use this edge detect node, but sometimes I used it once for like some experimental effect, and it actually gave some pretty cool results, like lines. But it's not picking up on anything. Also, I don't have anything. Yeah, yeah, it's not really picking up on anything. Oh, I'm also like super underexposed. Keep forgetting that. Okay, so let's see if we get any. No. RBG A maybe. No, it's not really giving me what I'm looking for. No. So let's keep working on this then. Blur. All right. So that's a little bit like not too good. It's like it's very squarey, right? So I'll do a very harsh like blur on the width. Just like spread it out like horizontally. And we need the same mask here. And maybe now we can play around with the intensity. Yeah, this guy is so overexposed. I might take a little bit of like creative freedom here to maybe underexpose the actual plate. Usually there's always like rule and visual effects is that you don't manipulate anything in the original plate. That's kind of like it's like kind of like a rule, I guess, or a philosophy, I guess, working with stuff. But I think working indie, you have a lot more like leeway to do stuff like this without, having too much of a problem. So basically, I'm just trying to like see if I can underexpose the sky a little bit. So this is like, yeah, maybe also too much. But it's just so we get some dark in the sky, basically, right? And we might even create like a ramp. Just to give it a little bit more depth. Because I think otherwise it's just super hard to get something that we read. So basically I'm doing that, right? So the exposure works a little bit more like on a gradient. And so I'm dimming down the bottom part. Maybe I want to do it like a reverse, but I tried reverse, but it looks a little weird because the light source will always come from the top, right? Maybe even do something like that. And I think, again, yeah, this just helps the shot. But like if you would work on a big movie, this will be a very illegal move to do. But yeah, I'll also make sure to mention it to the director in case it's a problem. But I really need to make sure I work quite well in the grays here. Yeah, so I might do some more adjustment. I think I'm going to delete all this stuff from below here because what is that doing? Okay, this one gives like a little bit of a general flash. Let's see how that looks, if it's useful. I was good to myself and put a note here, adjust stuff down here, so I knew how much I'd done. Yeah, no, it doesn't look good in movement or anything like that. Yeah, I think this one really needs a lot of adjustment. So I think I'll delete most of this stuff, and yeah, let's watch this. Yeah, it just looks very flat, the whole effect, right? It just looks like a flash. Feel like there's like missing highlights and contrast. Yeah, it's just like the whole thing doesn't feel right. So I might go even further back and see how this whole animation looks like. Flow in nature, I don't know if you're there, but you still want to, you have some stuff you want to look at? Could look at it in 10 minutes or so, if you're there. Right, so animation-wise, there's something here where it's coming from two different points, and I think that's not right. Yeah, so I think this one I probably rotated in a way that I didn't intend to, maybe. So I think I'll try to see if I can rotate it back. See how that feels. Okay, cool. Let's do that in 10 minutes. Okay, now the animation feels a little better. And yeah, let's see then. Right, and I'm stenciling it, all the masking stuff, and I think I kind of need like a big burst of light. I feel like I was missing that a lot. Also, this animation is kind of like, for this shot at least, it's kind of like, I guess it's a little static, but it does end at here. So if we watch it here, okay, I think it did help a little bit just fixing the animation a little bit. So now I feel like so I'll disable this one for now and see if I can. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I liked like big bursts here, maybe at 175. And yeah, let's try that here. So multiply, and then let's key this to maybe twice as strong. Okay, 4 times as strong. And oh, actually, I'll do it on 77, and then on 75 we go back to like normal. 73 we go up to 3, and here we can maybe do a 2. So let's see if we feel that flash. Yeah, so it's helping with the flash. I'm still not super happy. I guess that I feel like this shape here sort of stays for a long time without moving, or so I might just actually move it further up. Or I could like reanimate it quite a lot, but I just feel like, oh, my camera died out. Just hold on a second. Okay, sit back on. All right. Let me just readjust some focus stuff. There we go. All right. So let's see this. Yeah, at least I feel the power sort of the, because now we have like way more contrast, right? And the sky, because we underexposed it and stuff like that, and now I'm like overblowing the lightning. But maybe it's a little too strong, but it's easier to scale down afterwards, I think. Yeah, so this one doesn't do much. And also maybe we can like scale down then the light a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what it is about the shape, but it's just like I'm not super happy about it. Yeah, maybe I can also animate this a little bit. Man, time flies fast. Which is honestly a good sign that I'm enjoying these streams, actually. I feel like these last 2 hours has been way too fast. I didn't sort of manage to do much, I guess. But that's also a thing about visual effects, is that usually the process is a slow process, right? So you need to be patient and go back and forward with the stuff a lot to nail things down. Now I've moved here. Right, so now there's a lot of stuff to improve, but it's already been 10 minutes, so I'd like to maybe just disable that one. There's a lot of adjustments I need to play around with. All right, I'm going to save this. I'm going to end the stream. And thank you so much for tuning in today and being part of this process, actually. I mean, you are as much as part of this film just by, following and being active in the chat and stuff like that. So it's super cool to see that, people are popping in and out, and because it's interesting to talk about and to see where things go from here, in terms of to see the process of the shots from where we started and how they will end, and also hopefully we gather a little bit of a group of people as well that is just interested in indie filmmaking, and hopefully we can all help each other out. So it's also just a cool thing to be part of, I think. Mirza, thank you for joining in today as well. I'll definitely I still have it noted down about the sharing maybe some of the shots for people to work on. So hopefully there'll be some news on that as well. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, and we'll see you again on Tuesday, same time. All right, have a wonderful day and early weekend, even though it's a working day tomorrow, but we're closing in. And with that said, take care, everyone. Thank you so much. All right. Bye bye.